Sometimes life is messy. Have you ever wished you could refocus your mind, home, relationships, and work life? Join us as we use research-based information to make practical changes and simplify life. This is Life Simplified.
Welcome back to Life Simplified. This month we have been talking about March being Living Well Month. Today we're going to focus on our physical wellness. First, let's start off by discussing what do you think physical wellness is?
I think all things like my body, like moving my body, fueling my body, anything that has to do with just kind of like all of that.
Same. I think about, am I being physically active? Am I eating those nutrient dense foods more often than I'm eating those potato chips?
Okay, so physical wellness refers to your overall health of our body, which involves taking care of, your physical body regarding far as your activity, your nutrition, your rest, and, just your health care overall. It encompasses maintaining your healthy lifestyle and allows our body to function and reduce the risk of illness and also injuries. Our physical wellness is also part of our overall well being and our quality of life. Okay, so before we really start to get into this topic and talk about our overall health, do you think you're overall healthy?
I think I'm pretty healthy. Like I feel pretty good about where I'm at physically. Now, do I think I'm where I want to be? Not necessarily. I definitely think as far as like exercise and movement, I could be doing more. But as far as how I'm eating, choices I'm making, I feel pretty good about where I'm at right now.
I think I'm overall healthy. There's always room for improvement. And I think it depends on also like where I'm at because sometimes I'm rocking it. Like I'm waking up in the morning, I'm able to exercise, I'm eating my salads. And then some weeks I'm not. And so I think it just kind of varies. But overall, at a point, I think I'm pretty healthy. I would agree. Overall, I think that I am pretty healthy, and we have made some changes in the last few months, incorporating more fruits and vegetables. And I've really set a goal to be more physically active. I have not quite achieved where I would want to be, like we've said, but I feel better when I move my body. So I know that I need to move my body. So I'm getting there overall. Yes, I think that I'm healthy.
Same. I think I'm overall healthy, but I've always got room for improvement, just like we all, having being healthy overall, it just isn't going to happen overnight. And it's going to take a while if you don't feel like you're healthy, to make these changes and, little baby steps of doing that. So we're going to talk about some ways that we can, far as incorporate to help with our body being physically healthy overall. First, I want to ask, do you think there's signs that shows that somebody is not healthy? Let me rephrase that. Do
For
you like outer appearance? Can you see outer appearance and see if somebody's not healthy?
I think sometimes, but I don't think exterior always tells the full story. So I think there may be some clues, but I don't know that you're getting the full picture.
Yeah, I was thinking more of like maybe how someone carries themselves. Like, are they just stressed out? Like, I just think that my mind kind of jumped to like the stress part, because that takes a toll on. Because if you're stressed or you're busy, you're not eating well, you're not exercising. So just so if you can just kind of tell someone's a little defeated, like I feel
Mm.
like that's a outer appearance that they're just probably not doing well. And I was thinking more along the lines of how that person feels. Do they feel like they have energy? My child has asked me before if she's healthy. I ask her the questions because I really try to focus on outward appearance. And I'm like, well, do you feel like you have energy? Does your body feel good? Do you feel like you can do the things that you want to do? So I think it's really something that you have to ask yourself.
Yeah. So a lot of times we cannot see, like, look at somebody and say, oh, you're not healthy, because our outer appearance doesn't always tell the story that is what truly is going on inside you. And you are the only person that knows, as far as if something is not going, something is not right with your body. You have to listen to your body to say, okay, well, I'm not feeling good. I'm extremely tired. I'm not hungry, or I want to eat all the time. You're the one that can only determine that. We cannot look at people and say that person is healthy or unhealthy. What are some things that you and your family do to help you stay active?
We just try to, if there's a nice day, we go outside. So like an example, this past weekend, it was warm. It was about 60-ish. We spent probably 4 or 5 hours outside Saturday and Sunday both. And that's good for our mental health and our physical health. We didn't go and do exercises, but we cleaned up the yard and we raked up leaves and we did things like that to just continue to move more. And then we're very mindful too of, we limit screen time at our house. And so since we do that, we're up and active more and doing things and playing games than we would be if we just sat and watched TV.
I think that's a really good point that you said we weren't doing things that would be considered quote unquote exercise, but you were just moving. And I think we do very similar things. We go for a walk and we'll go to the park and we'll play a sport together. I've mentioned in previous podcasts, we've just learned how to play pickleball. And so we really enjoy doing that as a family. My husband and I think we enjoy it a little bit more than our daughter does, but she will play.
Yeah, I think just keeping your body moving, no matter what you're doing, just being physically active, as in not just sitting, and that can be hard. I've said we're at basketball games and we're at volleyball games, and those things lend themselves to just sitting for long periods of time. But what I've noticed is my husband and I were like, I cannot sit anymore, and so we'll stand for a couple matches and then we'll walk around and then, trying to make choices like if I can take the stairs instead of an elevator, do that. If I can walk from the further out in the parking lot instead of being right up close, doing that, just making those small choices that add up so that you're not sitting still. And then of course my kids they're moving. Like we get them outside as much as possible and they're practicing their skills with the extracurriculars that they're involved in. But I like to go on walks when we get to. We haven't been able to do that in quite some time, so hopefully that's on the horizon again when things slow down a little bit. But I think just moving. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Just the fact that you're getting your body up and going is important.
Just having regular exercise. There are so many benefits of our overall health far as to have exercise. And like you all just discussed, it doesn't necessarily you have to go to the gym or, lift weights and that. Just being up and moving helps a lot. Some of them overall benefits far as that helps, it improves our cardiovascular health. It enhances our mood and mental health, just like we talked about. Also, it helps with our weight management, and our body composition improvement, increases our energy level, also helps with our better sleep. And it reduces the risk of chronic diseases, but also it enhances our immune system functions. So just being active and having exercise in your life, these are some things that helps with our overall, physical fitness. Another thing is our nutrition and our diet. Sometimes, and I know we've talked about it on the podcast, that sometimes we don't eat like we should, but our diet of what we put into our bodies also matters far as with our overall physical health. And I've always used this example. We're like cars. What do we put in cars to be able to go? We put gasoline or fuel or diesel, and if we put in the wrong stuff in our vehicles, are they going to go? Absolutely not. So food is the same way for our bodies. If we don't put in the right foods, then that's going to hinder how we feel. And so having a well-balanced diet is very important and helps our overall physical health. So I know we've talked about it, but do you guys have on a regular basis, far as what you eat? Do you try to incorporate fruits and vegetables? I know a while ago before we started doing our podcast, we got talking about what we had for a snack today, and two of us ladies or three of us had fruit, and Amanda probably does some point, but she had crackers. I will call you out.
That's fine. Hey, I had fruit for breakfast.
Okay, see, there you go. There you go. But, sometimes we don't incorporate it all, but what are some things that you guys do try to incorporate in your diet on a day to day?
So fruit, and that's a new one for me. I've been slowly over the last couple years making small changes at a time that I can keep consistent at. And once I feel like one is good, then I try and incorporate something else. So a few years ago, I incorporated the elimination of sugary beverages and trying to get more water. And so that's now a consistent in my life. The next one was I wanted to cook at home more and introduce my family to different flavors, and make them have a more well-rounded palate. And so we've done that, and that's solid. So now I realized that I was eating a lot of vegetables because of the way I was preparing things, but I was not getting personally enough fruit. And my kids eat a ton of fruit, so they're great at this. But this was something that I realized for myself I needed to improve on. And so my husband as well. And he really kind of got us started. But now we have a goal like I'm going to at least eat a piece of fresh fruit a day, if not two or three if I can. But I think just making that small goal makes a big impact for me. So, those three things have added up to a big impact in our overall health. But that's sort of what I do.
I find that it's harder for me to incorporate fruits into a meal. So I have fruits as a snack, and I've had an apple a day for a very long time, to the point where
Forever.
we just laugh about it now that I've got my apples sitting right here, and eventually I'm going to get to it. I have been switching that up a little bit. I still have my apple, and then trying to incorporate an afternoon snack as well, and that being fruit.
Yeah, the same for us. I think the vegetable, I try to incorporate at least one, hopefully two vegetables in every supper that we have. So every night I try to make sure that we at least have them, because I know we typically do kind of fruits in the morning and lunch. It just depends on what's going on, but that way we know we're getting at least 1 to 2 vegetables in every day.
Just making the food choices, having a healthy focus as far as what you're going to have for your meals. We'd want to make sure that we're trying to cut out, our processing foods and trying to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables each day. It is a struggle. It's a struggle for all of us. Just like myself, I've tried to incorporate more fruits into my diet each day. And for the most part, I've done really well. But then there's days that I fall short of that every day. We cannot change what we do overnight, and just making them small changes helps just when you don't think that it does. Having that healthy lifestyle is based on our well-balanced diet and our physical exercise. Got to look and see, okay, what do I want to achieve with changing these goals? And maybe from a year from now, just to make sure that I incorporate the fruits and vegetables each and every day. Doesn't mean that you've got to go and lose weight. It's just having a realistic goal that you can reach. For more information for, far as your nutritional value, if you want to know how many calories you're supposed to be eating each day, how much servings of each food groups that you need, you can go to myplate.gov. They have tremendous information out there as far as to help you for your overall nutritional need. If you would like to know more about that, another website you can go to is Plan, Eat, Move. They have all the information you need far as when it comes to about nutrition. Also, something ladies can see me this morning. I have yawned the whole time we have been on my podcast. So our next topic is rest and sleep. I slept good last night, but for some reason or another, I'm still yawning this morning, just a little tired still. On an average, how much sleep do you think that you get in a day?
I think if I'm doing good, it's 7 hours. I'm probably, if I'm honest, I'm closer to 6 hours. And I would definitely say at this point right now, I'm running on a little bit of a sleep deficit and I can really feel it. So I need to do something where I can catch back up and get back to a better place.
Same. I'd say about 6 to 7 hours.
I'm typically right at 7, but if I have trouble sleeping, then it may be close to 6. But on average, I get about 7 hours of sleep a night.
I am also, but for some reason last night, I did not want to sleep. My body was like, no, sorry, Joni, your brain turn off and go to sleep. And these things do happen. Sleep is very important for us, and it really depends. Like children need a lot more sleep than we do as an adults. Our body does need that sleep that on average we should at least have 8 hours of sleep because it does help our body repair itself and rejuvenate. When you're tired, can our brains function? Mine can't. Can yours?
Not as well as it should.
I mean, it's really hard to concentrate in that. So before we go to bed, we need to maybe not have the caffeine up until bedtime, cut it out a couple of hours before, not to have screen time while you're going to bed or watching TV in bed, to help your mind be turned off from everything that is going on around. Adequate sleep supports our cognitive functions and also our mood. Our moods play a key thing. Sometimes we're like, "Ugh, get away from me because I'm grouchy because I'm really overtired." So it does affect that. It also affects our emotional well being. So having that sleep on a regular basis helps them, but it also helps our hormonal balance. A good quality of sleep helps regulate our hormones that controls, our appetite, our metabolism, influence our weight management, also our performance and productivity. When you're tired, do we want to do anything most of the time? No, because we're so tired, we don't. We want to just maybe sit on the couch and not do anything or just not feel like doing anything. Good sleep is also linked to better concentration, productivity, overall performance in our daily tasks and our activities as well. Another thing that helps with our overall health, physical health, is preventative health care. When you say preventative health care, what do you think I mean by that?
Like checkups.
Going to the doctor before you are sick to just have everything checked out, make sure that you are doing things the way that you need to be doing them.
Yeah, I was thinking just those annual checkups that they tell you to do that sometimes are easy to not do. I had one last week and I was like, it had been a year or two and I'd missed it. And I was like, you know what? I'm glad I went. So just making sure you make the appointments and keeping them because they are important. It took 30 minutes. Like I was in and out. It didn't take long at all, but it just keeping those.
Yes, it is so important that you make sure that you keep up with your checkups. I know we have talked about this next one multiple times on our podcast within the last year and a half is stress management. It is so important to make sure that our stress level is not as high because it does affect our physical health. So we got to make sure that we have the relaxing techniques that we need and just our overall stress management. And I know Tiffany, she is so great as far as about giving us tips of ways that affects us as far as when we're stressed and tips for us to be able to use to not be as stressed.
Yeah, I think we go back to that word of the year, awareness, just being aware of yourself and where your stress level's at. We're always going to have stress. I think that's the one thing we know is consistent. It's going to be there, but is it getting out of hand? And am I doing anything to refuel myself, reset myself and restore myself? And if you're not, that's when you get in trouble because it gets, out of hand pretty quickly. And I mean, I know all these things that even for myself, I would say I'm at a, probably more stressed right now than I need to be. So being aware of that, I know there are some things that I need to start scheduling into my routine to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. So I hope other people are doing that as well. Sometimes it's just taking a time out, giving yourself a minute to just breathe, doing those things you enjoy doing that bring you happiness and let you just kind of take a break from everything. And sometimes it's spending time with people in a meaningful way that you're not getting to. Sometimes you're go, 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 that you're not really having meaningful conversations. And I think when we connect with others, that decreases our stress because we're made for those relationships. And when we put those on the back burner, we get overwhelmed. So you all know the things to do. We know the things to do. So just making sure you're practicing awareness and doing what helps fuel you, because we're all going to look different. Something that might make me feel better may stress you out far more. So it's all personal.
That's right. And like you said, just being aware of it. All of the things that I just talked about is something that we need to all be aware of, and that it does affect our overall health, and we want to make sure that we are doing everything possible to be able to keep our physical health healthy. Here are some key tips of why physical wellness is important. Number one, improves our health. Our physical wellness can reduce the risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, obesity. Regular physical activity, maintaining proper nutrition, also result in energy level that supports daily activities and more. Once I said a while ago, we are like cars. What we put into our bodies helps us be able to have that energy level that we need. Our mental well-being, physical wellness closely linked to mental wellness, as exercise and healthy diet can positively impact moods, reduce stress, and enhances cognitive functions. Also, the next one, we focus on our physical wellness can contribute to a long and healthy life, allowing individuals to enjoy and maintain our independence of our age. As we get older, we need to make sure that we are taking care of us and our wellness to make sure we can have a long-lasting life. These are just some of the things that, can help us with our overall health. I will put in our show notes the references of where I, as far as received my information as I was researching this topic. And thank you all for listening. This is Life Simplified.
Thanks for listening to Life Simplified. We are family and consumer sciences agents with the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service. Contact us at lifesimplifiedpodcast@gmail.com.